It's been exactly 169 days as of the time of recording this since Amphibia ended. Nope, I am not memeing you. For a show about moving on and accepting change, it appears none of the fans have been able to do so. This includes me. Amphibia has been such a large part of my life for so many years now that ripping it out just seems so unjust. This whole situation is just giving me flashbacks to when Gravity Falls ended. So you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to move on, I don't want to accept change, and I won't do the hardest thing. Instead, I'm going to turn my favorite show into marketable Lego figures and leave them stuck in time through this YouTube video. Take that, Matt Brawley. How does that feel, huh? So, for lack of better words, let's ribbit jump on it. Also, I'm trying to get to 420 subscribers before the end of the year, so subscribe please.
Got ya! Thought you got the best of all land, eh? Well, you didn't.
Let's just break the ice and start off with the Heartbreak Queen herself and Boonchuy. I gave her medlex with printing to represent her skirt. I hate cloth skirts so much and I have no idea why I used them in my Owl House CMF. She would have a new torso print with some dual molded arms to show her short sleeves. Something I learned when making this series is that drawing heads for the Amphibia characters is very hard since they have very unique facial structures. Still looks like Anne though, so I ain't complaining. She would have a neutral expression and an angry expression. For her accessory, I gave her the sword Tritonio gave her. Just gave her the sword piece in metallic blue. She has this very unique fluffy hair which I couldn't find a Lego equivalent for. So you know what? I said fuck it. And I took a Blender course on how to 3D model. And after weeks and weeks of work, I made something. It could probably be fluffier, but I couldn't add more structure without it looking weird. So expect to see a lot of new custom hair pieces in the future as ya boy can now 3D model.
Oh, you just made a big mistake, buddy.
For someone who's Anne's best friend, you sure don't know her very well. She's brave, she's smart, and most of all, she's not gonna be pushed around by a bully like you.
For Sprig, I gave him small dual molded legs since he is short boy. His arms would also be dual molded, accompanied by this cool new torso print I made. He would have this new head mold to represent his beautiful face. Not sure how it would work IRL since of how many colors he has molded in there, but they made Animal from the Muppets work, so I'm sure they'd figure something out. For his accessory, he would pull a Bart Simpson and have a slingshot. Same piece Lego has been using for years, nothing too impressive.
You're a hero, an ugly hero.
I don't feel safe.
Hopadiah would also have small dual molded legs and dual molded arms. But in this case, he would have arm printing to go along with his torso. Just makes the arms look cleaner. Once again, new head mold, which at first may look weird, but if you stare at it long enough, you eventually get used to it. For his accessory, I gave him our girl Polly. She was too small to be her own character, and I really didn't want to pull off a Simpsons and make the baby her own figure.
Not the baby!
So instead, I just made her an accessory. She would be a new mold similar to the glove piece, but with an accessory hole to put her bow in. She may look a bit goofy, but personally I find her cute.
Dang it, boy! Nothing like scavenging the remains of a broken frog family!
Wally's up next, or should I say, Wallium. Just like the frogs before him, he would have small dual molded legs with printing to show his teared shoe. Unlike the others though, I gave him plain arms to go along with his torso. If it looks very similar to Sprig's, then you'd be right because it is Sprig's. Just recolored and modified to add his ruggedy clothes. I wanted to print the scarf onto the torso, but instead I gave him this piece which attaches to the neck. Above that would be his new custom head, which is really detailed. Like for Sprig, I'm not sure how it would work IRL, but it's a fictional CMF series, so who cares? For his accessory, I gave him an accordion. I just took the build from the Encanto sets from last year. You can't blame me though. Look at it. It's so glorious.
Disgusting.
Look, I know what you're thinking. I really wanted to keep this series to just season 1 and 2 characters, but I couldn't stop myself from including the Boonchuys. They're just so goofy and lovable that saving them for later felt like a crime. I gave her normal sized dual molded legs since she's way taller than Anne. Like Hop Pop, I gave her simple arm printing to match the torso and overall meshed the whole thing together. The head is pretty much Anne's but grown up. I used the same technique I used for Aunt May in order to make her look much older. She would have a neutral expression and an angry expression. Same goes for the new hairpiece. I just made it a lighter color to show age. Then for my favorite part of the figure, her accessory. I gave her Domino the cat by using the cat piece Lego has, just adding printing to make it resemble our perfect feline friend.
Absolutely not.
One more hit, and this 10-hour boss battle will finally be over.
Mr. Boonchuй's leg printing is practically the same as Mrs. Boonchuy, except he doesn't have Crocs or any legs showing. The arm printing is pretty much the same as Hot Pop, but with different molded arms, which would be attached to this new collared shirt print. The head is pretty simple. He would have a neutral expression and a scared expression. For his accessory, I had no idea what to give him. I was originally going to give him a laptop showing the game he plays, but instead I decided to give him the camera he uses in the Christmas special. My man may not be able to beat that boss battle, but at least he got that drip, yo.
Ah! The backyard!
Hey girlfriend, good to see you!
Now for someone you've all been waiting for, Sasha Waveride. This heart stomper was such a blast to make. I gave her really detailed mid-legs to match Anne. Her right arm would be dual molded while her left arm would just have printing. They would both be attached to this new torso print, specially designed for Sasha. Right above that would be a small cape piece and a shoulder piece, both attached to her neck. Then there's the head, which I feel like I did a great job on. She would have a winking expression which just straight up sums up Sasha's entire personality, and a disgusted expression after she found out Anne befriended those nasty frogs. For her accessory, I gave her the hair and swords. I used the same piece I gave Anne, just with different colors.
They're just slimy little frogs, Anne. They don't matter.
This piece is dedicated to the Serenity of Nature.
Grimity's mid-legs and torso are basically the same as Sasha's, just recolored to fit his darker palette. The arms would be dual molded and printed. He would also have a shoulder piece and one of those Mandalorian cloth things to cover up his arms, both attached via the neck. Above that would be his beautiful new head mold. He's pretty wide in the show, so I tried using his head mold as a way to represent that. Originally for his accessory I was going to give him his harp, but I decided to go for Barrel's Warhammer. It would follow the same building technique as Tweety Bird's hammer from the Looney Tunes series, but would have two new prints to fully show off its magnificent detail.
You're insane, and I love it!
Woke up in Utopia, rifled down a flight of stairs.
Let me just take a moment to talk about how great Marmar is. She's funny, she's goofy, she almost got all her friends killed, and she's overall lovable. Just an amazing character. Her mid-legs are very similar to Sasha's, but with a belt that extends all the way to the torso. The torso would have a new print to show off her armor, as well as some dual molded arms to go along with it. Like Sasha before her, she would have a small cape piece, as well as a back piece attached to her neck. The head is practically perfect, capturing all of Marcy in one asset. She would have a really happy expression, and another happy expression, but a bit more relaxed. For her accessory, I really didn't know how to represent her bow, so I used the piece that Lego uses for Chewbacca's bow. Still hate the fact that it's a stud shooter, but hey, what can we do about it?
Woo! What did I tell ya?
If anyone needs me, I'll be in the kitchen drinking juice.
For Lady Olivia, I had to create a new short skirt piece. It's pretty much the normal skirt piece, but short. This would be accompanied by dual molded arms attached to a torso similar to Sasha's. Instead of a cape, I gave her this plastic neck attachment thing. It might be from the Lego Ninjago movie, but I'm not sure. She would have a new, really detailed head mold which would have some of her hair flowing down. For her accessory, I gave her these tea and teacup pieces since she be fancy like that.
Sleepover. I had an army once. They slowed me down.
General Yunan, Scourge of the Sun Wars, defeater of Ragnar the Wrecked, the youngest new to ever achieve the rank of general in the great Utopian army, is definitely the most detailed figure I've made for the series. She has everything, leg printing, arm printing, and not only that, but they're also both dual molded. They would be attached to this new torso print, which would also have an armor piece and a new tail piece similar to the lizard guys attached through the neck. Her head mold wouldn't be so detailed, but it would have an open mouth. Why? I don't know, I just got bored of making all the frogs have closed mouths, I guess. For her accessories, she would have her claw things. I was going to create a new piece, but I felt lazy, so I just gave her the Wolverine claws.
I
I am General Yunan, Scourge of the Sand Wars, defeater of Ragnar the Wretched, the youngest newt to ever achieve the rank of general in the great Newtonian army!
Now that's king size.
We have arrived at the last character, King Andrias. He cool. He may not be the most detailed figure of the series, but I still find him cool. Unlike Yunan, he only has dual molded legs. The arms do have some arm printing, but it's so small you can't even notice it.
That's what she said!
The torso is once again inspired by Sasha's, but with an armor piece attached to the neck. The new head mold is really chunky, since I wanted to represent Andrias' height. For his accessory, I gave him his child Staberinator. And my favorite part of the figure, a micro figure of Calamity Ann. Andrias is ginormous in the show, so by adding a micro figure of Ann, you kinda get to see that scale.
Steal my thunder, why don't you?
We did it, guys! That's all 12 characters from Amphibia that I was able to turn into minifigures. For once, I actually enjoyed the process of making these figures. Probably because of how much I love the show. I guess the real reason why I don't want to let go is because of how much I love this world and its characters. You know, maybe Anne was right. Change may be difficult, but at the end of the day, it's how we grow as people. Fuck. You win, Matt. You and your masterpiece of a show win. I will move on, I will accept change, and I will do the hardest thing. Are you happy now? Not only that, but I have a special announcement to make. After weeks of thoughtful thinking, I have decided that the best way to end the year off is by ending it off the way it began. That's right, baby. Mark your calendars because on December 24th, the Owl House Series 2 is going to be premiering right here on the channel. So if you want to see that, all you have to do is tongue that subscribe button by turning it gray and turning on the notification bell. While you're down there, why don't we also try to get the video to 15 likes? If we somehow reach that goal, I'm going to make sure that a Series 2 does not take me almost a year to make. If you want to see more of me for some reason, my links are in the description down below. Anyway guys, I've been Cosmic, you've been great, and remember to stay awesome and creative. Until we meet again, fellow funny frock show enjoyers.